All right, gang, welcome to your warm-up strategy and tips for the 23.2 workout. We've got a two-part workout here. So we've got bodyweight pull-ups, shuttle runs for those of you that were asking for that, making those guesses from our hint, and then a heavy lift for those of you guys that wanted the barbell. This is what you get this year, a heavy thruster. The warm-up is important. We want to spend a lot of time warming up, getting warm, sweaty, getting ready for a heavy lift after the workout. If you go into this workout cold, which some people might think they should because I'll warm up on those lower rep rounds, it's gonna shock the body, your heart rate's gonna spike, you're gonna blow up midway through, instead of being able to hold a steady pace and endure to the finish. So start off with a 400-meter jog. It's gonna be pretty warm Thursday, Friday. Over the weekend, not so much, but try to get in maybe 2 to 3 minutes on a machine, going pretty hard if we're not doing the jog. Lots of calf raises, leg swings, hamstring sweeps, and roll to V's. We want to get ready for the touch on the shuttle run, right? So we are going to be avoiding our low back locking up on this workout. So it says 10 hamstring sweeps, do 20, do 30, lots of roll to V's, do some seated folding stretches if you need to. We don't want our back to lock up on those shuttle runs. Then we're gonna roll into some barbell warm up after a few more body weight stretches. Get ourselves up to maybe 70 to 85% of what the weight that we want to hit, maybe our max thruster if we happen to know that in Wodify, right? So the workout, once you get warmed up, you're going to be thinking about the 15-minute AMRAP into a 5-minute lifting window. So 5 burpee pull-ups or burpee bar touch for the scaled, add 5 reps each round. So round 1, 5 and 10. Round 2, 10 and 10. Round 3, 15 and 10 until time runs out. The burpee pull-up standard, we're going to be having our thumbs together, all the way extended, elbows straight up over our head, and we need to have our bar not touching our handle, our fingers not touching our bar. Then 10 lap shuttle run. We have been hammering you guys with a lap is down and back, a length is just down. These are laps. So down and back. If you want to count every time you touch and turn, that's 20. Whatever works for you, your judge is going to count every time you return to the start. And it's 2 feet completely beyond the tape lines we have on the floor and a one-handed touch. Everybody's like, do I really have to touch on the shuttle runs? Yes, you have to touch in the open. That's why we've been, the last couple months, being really sticklers about it and making you do it, because if you don't ever do it and you do it today for 15 minutes, your low back might start to lock up because you're not used to it. So what I'm gonna recommend in the tips is, we'll just say now, right hand touch on this side, left hand touch on this side. What that means is if I'm out in the gym and I want to turn and face the black wall where we did wall balls last week, I'm going to face that wall both ends of my shuttle run turn, and then I'm always going to be doing alternating sides and bend my back differently side to side and hopefully completely avoid the low back lock up there. Then we're going to roll into our 5-minute lift, 1 rep max thruster from the floor. No racks are permitted regardless of whether we might scale with one in class, RX scale, it's all the same. We got to do a clean into a thruster, power clean, and then thrusters are permitted, or a squat clean right into a thruster as well. There's no redip or jerk on the thruster. So if you guys did our Atlantic City comp, we allowed it. It makes the judging easier. Unfortunately, this means judges, you got to watch for that redip. Athletes, squeeze your quads. When you pop your hips, if you squeeze your quads, you will never get a no rep. So I don't want to have to go around no rep you. Dave and Danielle, we don't want to go around no rep you. If you do a rebend of your knees and your judge gives it to you, we're going to come over and say, just take a minute and redo it. Squeeze your quads, squeeze your quads, squeeze your quads. It actually helps you to finish the lift with more strength, and it's also going to prevent anybody from having you to think you got it, celebrate, and someone says, nope, you rebend your knees, and that's going to be a no-go. So at 5 minutes, we'll talk about weight strategy here in a second too. So tips. I don't have those avatars for you guys like last week. This workout's a little bit different. It's just 2 movements. We have to kind of find our pace and decide on a couple things. Jumping strict versus jumping up and kipping the pull-up for our RX athletes, right? If you can jump up and catch 3/4 of the way up and finish a strict pull-up, that is legal. If you need to kip, go with the kip, but we want to kind of practice the jumping into a strict pull-up if needed. Something that could really help you guys out, mostly with the jumping strict, would be jumping into a mixed grip or a chin up, and then varying what grip you guys use. Jumping into those different grips, changing less lats on a chin up grip, more lats on the pull up grip, and it'll move that fatigue around. and hopefully help you guys stay a little bit more fresh. And then if we're gonna do the kip, just make sure we're solid set up with our grip and our spacing. We gotta figure out our pace and think about how we should pace the round of, say, 15, because that's where the workout really seems to start for our athletes who have gone so far. The 5, boom, it's over in a flash. The 10, they're moving pretty quick still, not really a lot of pull-up volume. 15 is where it starts to become a workout. We start to see some separation between athletes. Then alternating arms in the shuttle run, we just talked about that, right? Touching with opposite sides. Start smooth and then go faster in the second half, right? So with that, finding your pace, I want you guys to start not slow. I don't want you guys to be out there crawling and think that any sort of running or going into a fast burpee is not okay. But we shouldn't be going at absolutely full tilt like we're doing a 5-minute AMRAP. Otherwise, you're gonna red line, blow up, limp across the finish line, and feel like you wanna redo this, where if we come out smooth and wait till there's 5 to 7 minutes to go and then decide to push it, spoiler, you'll probably just try to hold the same pace at that point. But if you come out smooth, stay steady in the middle, we get to 5 to 7 to go, decide now I'm allowed to sprint, you're gonna think about it and just probably hold it steady, and you're gonna feel like you nailed it and got your best score. So that's what we're looking for with our pacing, right? We want that warm up to get us super warm, sweaty, take a few minutes of a break, warm up pull-ups, get ready for our standards, and hit it. Be scaled. We've got a burpee bar touch. It's gonna be just out of your reach. It'll be a nice steady pace as well. And for that one, it's even more about just finding your pace. The lift strategy on weight selection. So I was just talking to Deirdre, she's going tonight, it's gonna be at 7 p.m. We wanna have our 3 weights that we wanna go for, right? So that's what I did for clear, worked out pretty well. She hit this weight right here for herself, which would just be the number 3 weight, wasn't this exact weight here, but pick our 3 weights. This weight for Deirdre is just under her best that she can remember on a push press. She doesn't really know a max thruster. For clear, this was her max thruster or push press, one of those two, pretty close to it. And then we had a stretch weight over here. If I get there and I have 45 to 60 seconds left, I'd like to get this weight. Be realistic, this should be maybe a hair below your max, depending on how accurate it is in modified. If it's really accurate, this is probably your 1 rep max. This is a little below it. If you're kind of just guesstimating off the modified results, this might be a little bit above your previous max. And then we've got a weight that, this is kind of our safety weight. We really want to hit this even if we're tired, no issues. This is just a primer. This is, we're gonna feel how we feel after a workout. So these two, this first weight is what's preloaded on the bar before you start your 5 minutes. And this is just there for you to be all tired, shoulders are blown out, heart rate's up. You pick it up, you might even fail it the first time because you're still feeling the workout, but lift this somewhere in the 30 to 60 second mark after you guys finish the AMRAP, just to feel how the body's feeling. And then we're gonna make a small jump or whatever we need to go to our first desired weight. And if we hit this and that was it, we wouldn't be thrilled, but it would be okay. Then 1.5-ish rest. This is the weight we're really looking to get locked in on. We feel confident, and then maybe this is the best that we're gonna get. Then we're going for a weight we really like to get, but we know it's gonna be tough, right? So we've got our kind of our fallback. We wouldn't be thrilled, but we'd be okay if that's what we got. We've got the weight that, this is solid. We're content if we got this, but we kind of wanted more. This is the one we're a little iffy about. This is what we'd like to get, and this is even a little bit more of a stretch, maybe a PR, depending on what you guys have in Wodify. What you can look up in Wodify would be thruster, maybe squat clean thruster, or push press, not push jerk. If you look up your push jerk, Deirdre's push jerk might be 135. That doesn't matter. We're not allowed to do a push jerk. Push press, thruster, squat clean thruster will be the only numbers that we want to use to help calculate and plan our weights. And then some people might have the inclination to think of 10 weights. It's not a lot of time. You will have volunteers and your judge allowed to help you change weights, so utilize them, but we want to maybe go in with our 3 core weights, a little bit of a primer weight, and then a stretch weight, and that's going to be good to go for our 5 minutes there. Find that pace on part 1. Have fun. I'll see you guys out there Friday night.